All right, let's go ahead and get started. And what we're doing, Angel, you coming in, or you want this one?
Come on, Mexican Rocky, let me see it.
What we got so far is this is just the month of December's results. You just did it for 2 weeks in December. We got 954 phone calls that have come in to the store. And right now you guys are running about 11.9% ratio as far as appointments are concerned. And the rest we have is somewhere between 22 to 24.6 is what we're averaging at other places. And we went ahead and listened to a lot of phone calls that you guys have taken. So I'm gonna try to help you, and that's the reason for today, to try to get this percentage up back to here. Because we had a store last month, Newton Subaru, of anything else, that sold 74 vehicles off the program. And you guys, I think, are at 15 or 16, Steve said today, and we gotta try to get that up for January and for February. So one of the things we want to talk about is what the objections are that you're running into, and you need to be as, not that you're not, but as truthful as possible with me to tell me what you're hearing and what you're running into so I can help you overcome what the problems are. So you haven't really been on the phone that much, have you? Have you? I mean, because I haven't noticed you in there as much as some of the other guys. That's not a negative, I'm just saying you may have not run into any of the problems of somebody else.
He's scared.
Huh?
He's scared.
Scared?
He's talking to me.
Angel, can you keep it up to the minimum?
Shut up.
Thank you.
Shut up.
All right, let me start with you. What objections are you running into that we could help you with? I mean, when somebody comes in, you know, when you're taking a phone call, what are you running into?
Well, pretty much the same thing we spoke about last time, just how do we get their number, or they're not in the vehicle no more, or, you know, not actual objections.
I've never owned a Nissan. Why you
Yeah,
guys calling?
exactly.
I
Just
get
stuff
one.
like that, but not like I'm reading this and they're like, well, no, I don't wanna be part of it or not. You know, usually they'll take their time, they'll listen to it, they'll like it, and then they'll be like, well, I can't come in, I'm not interested. I'll tell them that, hey, you could transfer it to a family member, coworker, or friend. They're like, well, we'll think about it. If I find somebody, I'll let you know.
Or I'm at work.
Or I mean, yeah, but
And that's
those
fine.
pretty much the only that I've had.
Now, what should you say if somebody calls you and they say, now they're calling you, okay, you're not calling them. So they're calling back and they're saying, well, I'm at work. What should your response be? The first thing should come at me is, well, okay, well, you already got their name and their phone number. So what time do you get off of work? You get off of work at 5 o'clock.
No,
How
but
about if I
sometimes
give you a call at
It doesn't
6?
go that far.
Okay,
They're not letting you tell them that because they're at work. They're like, I ain't got time right now.
and that's fine. If you can establish when the phone call comes in and they hit 1 and they're coming into you, and you can establish getting their name or their phone number, one of the two devices or both, don't even go into the program. End it right there and call them back. You have their name and their phone number. Call them back and just set it aside. But don't forget and go back to it and call them after work. You say, well, what time do you get off of work? I get up for 5 o'clock. Well, it's going to take me, 1 to 2 minutes to explain to you what it is. It does concern a lot of money. It does concern you. I don't want to bother you when you're at work. Let me just go ahead and call you when you're off of work. I'll be here till what other time. I got your name, I got your phone number. Let me just do that. And end it. Don't beat around the bush or shortcut it, because all you're doing is you're shortcutting yourself. Don't do that to yourself.
But what if that number that you're calling is their work number?
Get another number.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So how are you gonna know
Absolutely.
that?
You're supposed to find that out.
Okay, well, you're not telling them.
You asked.
They're
So
gonna
if-
get stuck. Will you listen? You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen.
Don't say, is this the best number?
I understand, but what I'm saying is, listen what I'm telling you, because he's not giving y'all the whole shebang, and someone like him is gonna get stuck and say, well, man, I did what they told me to do, and not have the alternative to say, okay, well, is this your actual work number that I'm calling you from? And then you take it off from there, because if you don't, then you'll get stuck out.
That's right.
Yeah, you know what I'm
If the
saying?
number they're giving you, and you call them, if they come in and say, you go through the first part of the script, and then you say, and who am I speaking with? Well, my name is John Doe. And what number are you calling from? And they give you that phone number, and it's their work number, and they say, well, you know, what's about, I'm at work right now. You stop the conversation and say, I understand this is gonna take 2 or 3 minutes to explain to you, and it does concern a lot of money. Since this is your work phone number, what is the next best phone number that I could reach you at after work? And get that phone number, and then say again, I apologize for calling you during work, don't want to interrupt your day, I'll call you after work. How about 6 o'clock? And try to set up a mini appointment for after work, for whatever that time is, and get that different phone number. The whole idea is your end result doesn't matter what the customer's financial situation is. That's not the goal here. The goal here is to make an appointment and make them show up. Once that happens, then anything in the world can happen from that point on, okay? Whatever it is. You need to get them from point A to point B, which is from the phone to the dealership. And this is the vessel that's gonna do 100% of that. That's what's gonna get the best results to get you from point A to point B, because obviously if you sell a car, you make money. That's what this is about. So when you get to that point and they're telling you that, that's one thing. The second part that we need to talk about is an objection itself, which is, I'm not interested, right? I have no unearthly idea how in the world you got my phone number, where did it come from? I don't own a Nissan, I never owned a Nissan. Well, you gotta remember, these are coming from your service department. So a lot of times that is not a true statement. I'm getting my oil change right now downstairs. And they have my VIN number, my phone number, my email address, my phone number, my name. Something had to transpire. They didn't just make that up. Somebody drove into here and gave your service department that information. It didn't get made up. That's who we're calling. We're calling somebody like me who just gave that information downstairs. So when they tell you that, that's not a true statement. Now, could they have given the wife's phone number, the husband's, the son's, the brother, whatever, all that situation is great. But the main thing is, when they call in that objection, they say, okay, I'm not interested. What should your response be if somebody says flat out, I'm not interested?
Great, that's awesome, not a problem. Would you care to want to give this money to someone else that they could possibly use it to be able to get into another vehicle or upgrade their vehicle that they're in now? Like family, friend, co-worker, somebody that you might know that it's deserving.
And you get the referral of $100.
That's an excellent response. One of the things you can add to that, which stops people cold, which a lot of stores do, is, okay, I understand. What would you like me to do with your money? Now, what does that tell you? That automatically will stop somebody in their tracks. And they'll say, well, what do you mean? Well, would you like to transfer and say exactly what Angel just said? Would you like to transfer it to a family member, your wife, son, daughter, cousin, uncle, aunt, grandparent? Want to give it to a coworker or a friend? And if they purchase a car, even though you're giving your money to them to assist them, you still get a referral fee of whatever the dealership, $100 referral fee. Now, is that going to turn somebody's attitude around in a phone call? Yes, it does 100% of the time. Second objection is, what they say, how did you get my phone number? What is it? How did you get my phone number? I've never been to Baker Nissan. I've never searched my car or nothing. Well, we got the phone number somehow. Somebody pulled it in, right? So what do you tell them?
Well, maybe you just got this phone number because.
Did you just obtain this phone number in the last 6 months? No, I've had this phone number my whole life. Well, great. Somebody in your family used this phone number and based on our service records, had a vehicle serviced here under this phone number. So that's how we obtained it. But the good news is, because that part of it's a little bit of a negative, isn't it? So you get around that, give them the information, what I just said. But the good news is, based on our service record, you're entitled to $1,123.98 as a voucher towards the purchase of a new or used vehicle. And then you go into the rest of the script. And you turn that from a negative to a positive. And at the end of it, they say, well, I appreciate that, I'm not interested. Great. What would you like me to do with your money? Because this money is assigned to you. What would you like me to do with it? They're gonna have a response. Is somebody gonna say, I could care less? Yes. Somebody's just gonna say that, wonderful, for sure, thanks for playing, goodbye. But most people, normal people are gonna say, well, I just don't wanna leave $1,123 sitting out there. I don't want you to have it. I wanna do something with it. I wanna do something with it. I wanna have somebody take a use at it. That's what it's for. That's what your normal response is. What objections have you got? If you really haven't run anything,
Not
maybe you
interested.
haven't.
Not interested.
Not interested? Well, you think this response will help you with that? That's what you wanna say? Go ahead.
People asking if they can use it for a service department, get a service in their car, I mean, that's an objection.
That's not really an objection, that's just kind of a, we had a guy on the phone that we listened to that said, when he said I had to voucher 1100, he said, I'm on my way down there right now to pick it up. I'm on my way down right now. So it was cash, and then the salesman went ahead and reiterated and said, well, this is a voucher to use towards the purchase of a new used car. He said, oh, well, that's great. Well, I'm gonna use it, I just gotta get a job first. But it was positive, you know what I mean? Even though it was a negative, it was a positive. Didn't have a job, but, in his mind, he's got $1,123 sitting here for him, so when he does get a job, he can trade out of his car to something else. I would say, from outside looking in, that's kind of a closed deal. You know what I mean? He's already thinking, I got money sitting here, I'm not going anywhere else, I'm going here. So that's kind of a closed deal already, up front. And that's what you want to try to paint that picture. How about you?
It was the same, man.
Just those two things?
I'm here, you
One
over
at a
there.
time, man.
Just about the same thing, I had to get my name and number. I don't know if it's gonna do this year.
Now are you clear what to say from that, or you want me to go over that?
I got it.
You got it? And again, just to hit that on, if they say, how'd you get my phone number? I've never been there, I don't even know where it is. The best thing to say is, if you've obtained this phone number in the last 6 months, somebody with that phone number as a friend or family has used Baker Nissan for service, and based on that information, we have $1,123.98 that has your name and your phone number on it, so that money belongs to you. Whether you've used it or not, it now belongs to you. This is your money. So what would you like me to do with it? Would you like to, and go into the script? Boom, that first paragraph. Most people will get interested during that conversation. At the end of the conversation, if they still say, well, you know what, now 99% of the time, they're not gonna tell you in that, last 30 days that they just bought a car because they wouldn't be getting a phone call. That's number one. Well, they're gonna say, well, you know what, I don't trade very often, I trade every 3 years, but, maybe I'll use it in the future. Great. Can I contact you in 90 days and see if you might be interested then? Or would you like to give it to a friend, family member, and so on, as we say? You don't want to just end the call. You want there to be some kind of outcome to the phone call. You want there to be some vessel in there for you to contact this customer again. These are people that you would have never sold a car to on your own. These are people that are already Baker's customers that we call them orphans, because they may or may not have a salesman that are attached to them, and there's a 90% chance they're not being followed up upon. So these are people you would have never talked to. And trust me when I tell you, you're better off on the phone talking to somebody and making an appointment and have something set up than standing outside in the rain. A lot better. And this is gonna help you achieve that, where you can fill your pipeline up with hopefully potential customers. Because after today, when we leave so many voicemails, people are calling back in every day, and they're calling the switchboard, and sometimes they're calling up here, and the phones are not getting answered. And if you hear something ringing, pick it up. Absolutely, for sure. Don't let it go, because it's a customer. So part of that objection, again, is you wanna overcome those particular areas. Anything that you say? Scott?
Just the initial one where you, so, what number you calling from? That was the main objection that I had. And they said, well, you called me, I didn't call you. So we took care of that, so.
Right. And again, to go over that part of it is, I understand that, sir. What number are you calling from so I can pull up your information? Simple as that. Usually when you reiterate it a second time, they're gonna give you. Anything
No, I
that you
use that much time because most of the time I have the customer, so.
Did you ever get a chance to take the phone call? No? Angel, what about you?
Pretty much all the same thing. It's, you know, just that. Why are you calling me? What's this, you know, purpose? And that's when I started sharing with them. But the only thing is that I get a lot of the, wow, I'm not interested. I've never owned one, so it's basically it. How'd you get my number? But I mean, we have all the answers.
Okay. One of the biggest things that's gonna help you make an appointment or get a future appointment or get a referral out of this is by definitely saying and putting somewhere in your word track, what would you like me to do with your money? I promise you that works, and it works great. Because it stops them and it makes them make a decision. And again, not to repeat myself, but when they say, well, can I use it in the future? The answer is yes. Can I transfer it to somebody else? Yes. It's always gonna be yes, yes, yes. Can I use it for my service, the bill? No. It's only to be used for a purchase of a new or used car. That's where you're going with it. Anything other than that?
What do you tell them when you ask you to remove their number?
Say, not a problem, sir, I'd be more than happy to. And just give your information to your manager. They give it to me. I got 2 people out of 954 that we have to take off. But before we do that, we send them a postcard. Say, hey, understand that you don't want to be removed from our calling list. You know, any particular reason why? What's wrong? Usually because they're mad at us for some particular reason. And we're going to try to fix that situation with them. Mad at service, they're mad at sales or something. We want the store to have the opportunity to fix that so we don't just delete them. We just know that this guy's an issue, so we're going to try and fix the issue. We're going to let the dealership have that opportunity to do that. So, who here has not eaten yet? All of you.
Yeah, there's morning shift, yeah.
Well, we'll keep you another 6 minutes and you guys can get out of here and go get some food. Anything else that you want to go over in that particular area? No? Who's got the script down? Anybody got the script down? Got all the word tracks memorized? Good to go? No? How about you? You comfortable with it?
Yeah, I'm comfortable. You have to read it through.
Comfortable with it? You guys? Keep reading it. Keep reading it and reading it. Do you have enough scripts up there?
Yeah, we got one. I kinda, like you said, I put them into my own words. I followed the basic script, but I've noticed that on some customers, it's better just to put your own words to it, because then they'll be like, what did you just say? Or, you know, they can't.
Absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. You want to use your own, you want to take the script as much for it as word for word, but you want to put your own personality into it to make it work better. Yes. Oh, I thought you did. You want to definitely put your own personality in it to make it work better, because once you get it locked down, you get over that one objection or 2 objections, you're in great shape after that. You should be making an appointment. You know, I want to see you guys at least get 20 appointments out of here today, because you're going to get another 200 to 250 phone calls today. You know, and then you're going to do it again Thursday. And
I got 2 customers that came in.
Good.
They were too far, so
Now you can't help, but you did your part and you accomplished the main purpose. You got them in here, and you talk to somebody you wouldn't have talked to before. I'm gonna, get you a script. Did you eat lunch? I don't wanna stop you from doing that, so Thursday, are you here Thursday? Thursday, I'll come in a little, about half hour beforehand and go
So
through
we're
it.
off Thursdays, I'll probably be here anyway though. I gotta make money. We'll see.
So we can do it tomorrow also? or?
No, we do it Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 o'clock.
For 2 hours or?
Yes.
So what, shifts or?
Yeah, suppose everybody's supposed to rotate through.
3,100.
All right, guys, go eat. See you at 2 o'clock.